This course follows a special approach. I believe that you learn the most if I'm able to focus on one part of the language at a time. Now, oftentimes you see courses where you learn certain features, but you want to implement them in a web page, and therefore you need to write some other code which is not really connected to the topic you want to focus on right now. I think that's a problem because it deters you from really deeply diving into the topic at hand. Therefore, the format I chose for this course is the following. We'll be using a web page named jsbin.com. So if you navigate over there in your browser, you see that it should look something like this. Now, it might look a bit different if you open up for the first time. You might close this thick blue thing you got at the top when opening it for the first time, and then make sure to only check JavaScript and console here so that only these two items are highlighted. Now, from time to time I'll also use some HTML code and possibly the output, but what this page allows you to do basically is to write a simple JavaScript HTML program and see it run immediately. Therefore, we don't have any problems with setting up our workspace or having to write redundant code, which isn't really the topic at hand. That being said, of course, I have a separate module about setting up a workflow and setting up a real project, because in the end, of course, you won't be writing applications in this tool. But it's great for learning, and that's why I'm using it. For the majority of the course, we won't even see the HTML code. We'll just use JavaScript and see what happens in the JavaScript console, which is a convenient way to output values. Now, you might argue, well, my programs won't output it to the console. I need knowledge how to work with HTML code. And you would be right, but that is why I have a complete module, or two actually, about interacting with the HTML document. But it's very important to understand all the other parts of the language first, and for that you won't need HTML, since it's only one part of the language, and it's only about, well, actually displaying it in the HTML code, but not the logic you write. The logic you write depends on functions, objects, and data types, and that can be perfectly output in the console like this. So for example, you'll see me type something like assigning a variable, and of course I'll come back to variables very soon, and then logging that variable to, well, the console log. And if you then hit Command Enter here, or click this Run button, you see that it gets executed and gets printed to the console on the right, which is a very convenient way to see what actually happened and what the result of a certain calculation might be.